Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope all of us are having a beautiful morning. Yeah. Uh, I'm Younesef, presenter on Dubai One TV on Emirates News, and I'm joined by my beautiful guests who are ready to talk about the topic of AI and other related topics, of course, that will tell us more about how the future of film might change in the next couple of years. Now, let's please join me in welcoming my guests. I'll start with Karina Miller, who is the founder of Spark House and also a film producer. She is the sister of Keanu Reeves. We're also joined by Barbaros Sitmachi, founder of BC Productions, whose company produces TV and digital content. He also has years of experience in the finance industry. And of course, last but not least, we're joined by the well-known Turkish actress, Nesrin Cevatzadeh, who has been active since 2003 and has been awarded numerous Best Actress awards. Thank you for joining us, all of you.
Thank you for having us.
Now again, a recap of the questions we'll be discussing today. It's mostly about AI and how it has been changing and will continue to change the future of cinema.
Can you hear him?
I'd like to start with asking AI and its capability to generate content. It also has come up with writing new scripts for many producers, probably making their life easier, but not as creative, I guess, as we expect them to be. Now, how do you envision the role of AI-generated content in creating a landscape of filmmaking? And do you see it as a tool for augmentation or as a potential disruptor?
I think AI still has some pretty major limitations in regards to actual generation of creativity. I think it can be used as an idea generator, but I know from living in the States where we just finished a 154-day strike with the writers are very sensitive about people creating things through AI. But I do think in regards to, initial idea generation, I do think that it can be fairly helpful, but I think at this point, the actual creation of dialogue and emotion is still pretty limited.
Yes, coming back to that point that you mentioned, the month-long strike.
5 months.
5 months. It was supposed to be a month, and then it kept on going. AI was one of the topics discussed, and this article from CNN says, the use of generative artificial intelligence in production was one of the final sticking points, and also they were concerned about the rise of artificial intelligence, and they wanted protections to ensure that movies and shows are written by humans and not machines. So it was a very sensitive topic and is still a very sensitive topic. How would you like to add to that?
Actually, if we are just kind of deploying the technological advancement in every part of our lives, we need to find a balance between these two. I can just give an example from our own experience in Turkish drama. Actually, right now, the series you are watching is the International Commercial Hour, but it's almost 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Wow.
For every week, for every fresh episode. So actually, when you just think about the script writers and the storytellers, they need to really work very hard to have the show on its dedicated date. But of course, when it comes to creativity, let's say the scenario, the storytelling, we need to have a kind of a balance between the rapidness plus that message to be passed to the audience.
Right.
I don't know if I have time, but let me continue with the experience what I have.
Okay.
So, for instance, right now, what we are trying to do, we are trying to deploy the ChatGPT and the AI in the projects we are involved with, which is the integration.
Right.
So, integrating a brand's message to the content itself. So, kind of commercialize it in the most organic way.
Right.
So what we have just started to use is having the AI, using all the scripts and the scenarios, having the brief, just to be aligned in a way that it will be kind of passed through to the audience. That's actually what we try to do. Is it a disruptor? I don't think so, but will it come to a point for a discussion? 100%. I think maybe during the session we can talk about that. I think the most critical issue will be the IP, the IP rights, the whole ecosystem partners.
True.
But I think we can discuss it actually later on.
Nasreen, I see that you're happy and content at the same time. Tell us talk to us about the evolution of Turkish drama and how you see it changing in the next couple of years.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today, for this kind invitation. We are here with Mr. Barbaros as a team, and he wanted me to talk about statistics, numbers, and all those technical stuff, but I'm not a number person, and I'm emotionally intelligent person because I'm an actress, as you know, in case you don't know. So I will be just talking about my feelings on Turkish TV's content and its evolution. I'm just so thrilled to be here in Dubai, such a colorful and very, vibrant city, just like the stories we're telling on Turkish TV that we're sharing with you. And if you have ever tuned in Turkish TV, you would probably see that it's like being on a roller coaster of emotions. 1 minute you are laughing, and the next you are reaching out for tissues. That's the magic of our shows. They are vibrant, they are real, they are raw, they are very relatable. And during the years, we have shared stories on love, on drama, all those, historical tragedies, epics. And while sharing them, they were so deeply rooted in Turkish culture, but at the same time, it fascinates me to see how globally they resonate. And that's because of those, power of storytelling. It literally transcends the borders. And as an actress, to be a part of this huge, huge industry is like being a part of a cultural phenomenon. It's not only about being glitz and glam, but also the genuine human connections that we have with our audiences. And yet the true beauty of this content lies in its evolution, and it's not a product of producers or script writers or us actors. It's more the global influence, the desires, the reflection of desires of our audience. And I believe, as our shows are shown now in Asia, in Europe, in Middle East, in Balkans, everywhere, like 150 countries all around the world, I believe that we have created this language of storytelling all together. And and when I'm talking about the language, it really always fills me with pride when people come and tell that they have learned Turkish only by watching Turkish TV shows, and yet really they speak Turkish better than I do. What a great promotion for the country.
Movies, people learn so much.
But I believe it happens because of our dedication to the craft, because of the willingness of telling the stories that matter. And as the creators of this content, we should never forget that we are not only entertainers, but we are historians, we are storytellers, at some point even activists, because we have the power to bridge cultures, to break stereotypes, to build up new perceptions. And I just want to thank to each and every viewer who has invited us to their homes, who laughed and cried with our characters, who loved or critique our work. Thank you so much. You are the driving force behind this evolution. And I believe that Turkish TV content's future is even brighter.
Yes.
And just can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you very much for that, Nasreen. Now, as years pass, AI becomes more and more intelligent, taking in more and more information from their surrounding environment. They become better at copying us, and maybe in the future can replace actors and actresses. How do you see that fitting in with the audience?
I think that's an incredibly dangerous path to go down that I think the actors themselves are going to fight, except for if you tell them you can use AI to make them look younger or prettier, because they seem really okay with that, I've noticed, at least in post-production. I think, I mean, I come from a world where there's a lot of unions and guilds, and they fight very, very hard. Because IP brings in information that, you know, for however many years, we've all been hitting I agree on our phones every time we do anything.
Right.
Now AI has access to all of that, and that's where it's pulling from. So I think now people are going to be a little bit more cautious about that. And in regards to the actual actors themselves, they're going to be incredibly proprietary about what can and cannot be used.
Right.
I think there are archival elements, like using AI to take old film that's degraded and kind of redo it so you can see it in the way that it was.
Right.
But I think it's going to be a really, really long time before AI can replace a person. There's something about the eyes that are kind of dead. I think in the background it can happen. We've been doing that for a long time. Right now on a production level, when I meet actors, especially like background actors, and they say, I'm going to be replaced, you know, for now it's like, do you know how expensive it is to replace you with AI? I can just pay you to do your job. But there's also, you know, in media outside of acting and films, people are now going to see hologram concerts of ABBA.
Right.
Things like that. So I think that
A remake of
technology
them,
will
right?
grow. But in regards to replacing people doing the craft of acting, I think it's going to be a long time before AI can do that.
What do you think, Barbaros? Is it close? Is it, I mean, are we reaching that point that it could happen, or you think you agree with Karina?
I think we are talking about it from the producer point of view, but it also depends on the, let's say, the willingness of the audience as an interest to see them, to watch them. And what about the reaction as an embedded factor? Because what we see is, okay, having the images instead of the people in person, let's say, with the role, with the characters played by definitely by the actors and the actresses. What about, let's say, the social media created around that?
Right.
So
right.
is it going to be half-half or a certain percentage? You know, what we thinking today is there going to be a balance between them? Oh, even when you think about, I mean, the drama or the movies, whatever created around that, you can see the reactions. And the reactions take you to kind of adjust yourself based on those reactions obtained.
Right.
So if you cannot find the balance, or if it is about the readiness of the whole system, then it takes you to the next step and the next stage, where you will discuss about, shall I replace the people only?
Or the
What about
scripts?
the producers, broadcasters, or the, let's say, the scriptwriters?
Scriptwriters,
So
right?
it's going to be fully automated. Then the organic will be gone, but it will be kind of recreated. So it also depends on the tolerance and the reactions of the people around it.
I guess I
agree.
would also say, I saw one thing said, in order for AI to replace you, it has to understand what you do. And at least for making movies, being a scriptwriter, being an actor, being a producer, it's different every time. That's what's great about making a movie,
Right, right.
is that it's never the same twice. And I think it would be very difficult. I think there are automated efficiencies in AI that are really helpful.
Right, right.
During production, there's virtual production, there's location doubling, where you can go to a location, say, I'm from LA and I want to shoot a movie in Dubai. I can bring my team from my virtual production team and say I want to shoot something on the scene. I can do a 3D AI scan of it.
Right.
And I take that information and I go back home and I can replicate it in a green screen in a small little space in Los Angeles. I can use AI to recreate the light based on how much information it knows about when the sun does what. And what I can do is, from Los Angeles, I can input what the chair's going to look like, what this couch is going to look like, and put actors in it to set the lighting, to set the blocking, to do all of it before I get here. And I think the key is where the IP comes from. So is instead of taking a chair out of the the AI fake world, you have the chair that the production designer picked. So they're still doing their job, but now we get to scan it and we move it in place. So there's some efficiencies that you can do through AI that I think are fantastic on the production side of things, but I think it would be, at least from where I'm from, it's going to be a really long time before they'll let
AI take over.
The creatives replace us.
Right.
Like, for example, they now have a rule that says, and no AI-generated content can be eligible for an Academy Award.
Okay. So when you set those limitations, it kind of helps the environment. Nasreen, what do you think about the idea of,
being replaced by it could be nice, actually.
It could be.
If she's younger and more beautiful than I
A younger
am,
version?
I would prefer.
You mean a younger version?
replaced.
This is what we were talking about in the green room. So many people would like to see, as I was talking about it, Robert De Niro in his younger years. They want to see him again acting in certain movies, in different movies, but as a younger person, not as his grandfather, Yeah. And maybe some people want to see Michael Jackson singing again, but a different song, obviously, but with the touch of today's, today's music scene. So what do you guys, as we know, we are running short on time, and let's keep in mind, Amazon has invested $4 billion just 2 days ago in an AI setup. So they are also on the bandwagon, pushing this AI thing to happen faster than what we expect. What do you guys have to say about that?
Actually, I have created my speech by using AI with her help.
Okay.
And I believe that it's her, because no man can be as intelligent as her.
Okay.
So you cannot run away from it. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's the balance. I mean,
It is the balance.
yeah. We will be using it.
I'm trying to compare it with the automotive industry, where we are talking about, let's say, the vehicles without the drivers.
Right.
So there's a huge ecosystem to be created around that. So what's gonna be happening about the insurance policies? So can we find someone behind the AI to blame with?
Yep.
I think when it comes to that part, what you are definitely saying is, what I also agree 100%, is the IP. I think the IP is going to be the key factor. So we need to really think about that and consider about that. And right now, it's not that easy for the people who are seeing their stories or any kind of persona somewhere else, because you are in the same system.
Right.
I mean, psychological factors play a key role. But on the other hand, when it comes to AI, I think we're going to see numerous cases, because that means you're going to have something against you, because it will be kind of a mass production.
Right.
So that means it will be a kind of an industry at the end.
Right,
So,
right.
Interesting days are waiting for us.
Yeah.
It's coming, I
about
think.
choice.
It's about choice at the end.
And the choice of, like, if you ask Robert De Niro if you can scan all of his movies and make him act as a robot, he will say no. But there are people who will say yes.
But what if he says yes?
He won't.
If somebody, one of the actors.
Well, what if someone does? There are people
Yes,
who
yes,
will.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if there are people who are willingly, it's about willingly volunteering to participate. And I think that is going to be where the boundaries are.
Right.
But no.
I think all
Bobby's
it takes.
going to say no.
I hope not. All it takes is 5 minutes of anyone being in front of the camera, and AI will know how to mimic you. This is the only problem.
Yeah, but can
And
it
it's-
make you cry? Can it give you all the things she talked about Turkish television? Can they create a roller coaster?
Sooner or later, I think It could, right? It should.
Well, then I'm going to lock myself at home and cry myself to
Me
sleep.
No, we need your creativity at the end of the day. Creativity is what really matters.
Yeah.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed
Thank you.
our session. Thank you once again, Karina, Barbaros, and Nasreen. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope
you.
you enjoy your stay in Dubai.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Pleasure.